Before you can understand the universe out there, you got to understand the universe within you, and because reality begins within, it works like that. So the way we see things is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. Now, what there's a crowd of people that truly believe they're in contact with aliens, and they believe they were abducted by aliens. They describe some pretty. These guys should write movie scripts, yeah, because they're very descriptive. They have really good imaginations. But when you think about it, if you look closely at the stories, different people are going to they're not going to support each other. Is what I'm saying, and so this is telling me that this most likely is not true. And going with that, and the chance is 100% that what they're saying is not true. So there's no chance they are lying because they're inconsistent, and because of that, now you look at that communication, and then you say, okay, that's a reflection of their inner world. So if their communication is nothing but lies, then they're deceiving others, which means they're deceiving themselves, which means they have a very unhealthy inside world, which means their universe within themselves is not being nurtured. They are trying to separate components from each other. As a result, they are not communicating from their sacred centers. Yeah. So this is that is the foundation behind people who have these UFO conferences, and they claim they're channeling alien spirit from some other place, and then when you see this stuff, you can find this on YouTube, and it's comical as hell. This is not much different than those people who in religions that say they get the Holy Ghost, where they start talking in what they say are ancient languages that are no longer spoken today. And they jump around, run around, roll around the floor, and they're saying that these spirits from that used to live a long time ago are invading their body and causing them to do these things, and this is supposed to be signs of joy because of God, and then they say these things like Hamala Shamala Hamala Shamala Kamala Shamalai, things like that, which means what I just said is total bullshit. I'm just kidding. No, really, it is this nonsense. And this is all usually the way they do this is by capturing an emotion and forcing oneself to go overdrive into that emotion and thought, and then they lose control. And what's happening is the emotion is taking over. And remember the four parts of the self, and it's going to cause the body to convulse because it's losing control. And then the person may do things that it normally doesn't do because it doesn't have boundaries at this point. So it might start humping the floor, it might start humping a table. Seriously, I'm not saying this to be funny. This does happen, and then they say this is they interpret that as being the Holy Ghost, but really it's not. It's a person losing control. And when as soon as that happens, see, the body is trying to separate too. and of course it can't because it's just together, but it tries to because the person's losing control, and in some cases the body's trying to correct, and the emotion is too powerful. So this is why the person starts convulsing and rolling around the floor, running around the room, praising God and talking these really ridiculous languages that don't even exist and never did exist. And this is all coming from duality, and this is on the same frequency as those people who say, yeah, they really keep track of the astral movements, the stars, and they'll say, yeah, that certain aliens came here, and they're still among us, and they're reptilian, and we're descended from them, in that they and you see these reptilian aliens, they have a very what do you call it, nature? Yeah, they're always full of what did I hear one lady say? They're always full of energy, where they're very dominant, and they come from the planet Vega or whatever. And then there's these other aliens that are different in nature, and they're more they are always trying to encourage the oneness of the universe. And see, the problem here is that what it's saying is that all the inhabitants from this so-called planet are all exactly the same. That's racist. That's to tell you the truth. Yeah, that is stereotyping. That's to say that, okay, since let's just pretend it's all true. Okay, if this was the case, and these reptilians are an advanced civilization, there's no way in hell they could all be exactly the same. You see what I mean? That breaks that argument right away. To say that just because they're reptilian, that they're all this way, just look at this planet. All you gotta do is look at this planet Earth, and look at different people from all over the world. Look at people from Australia. How did Europeans get down there? Did they go wandering to discover new lands? No. Their sailors went by Australia, but they thought that was so damn desolate they just went by. Too damn hot down there. Then in England, their prisons were getting too full. Yes, there's a very, very naughty people in England. And so then they put them on boats and they say, shit, we'll just dump them off in Australia. So they got on these boats with all these prisoners, sailed halfway around the world, dumped them off on this island and said, okay, now you guys go nuts with each other. So that's how Australia started. Okay? So now, can we say that all Australian people are nuts and criminals and murderers? Can we say that? No, we can't. Because, back in the 1700s, when this was happening, England, I'm sure England threw people in jail that were not bad people. They just couldn't pay the bills, so they got put in prison. Yeah, and then you'll get, for example, you can get two short people. I'll be respectful. Yeah, two short people. You know what I mean? Really dwarves and stuff. Yeah. Okay? Two people like that can mate, and when they have a child, the child can be normal sized. No problem. Might even be tall. You see what I mean? And is that child going to have the same personality? No. It's going to be influenced by its parents because of parenting, but it's going to develop its own identity, its own Everything. It might be similar, but it's not going to be the same. And then you might have a family that, is a really good family, real nice people, and, they're very healthy emotionally. They provide the best for their child and everything. And the child grows up and becomes a serial killer. Yeah? Goes into all the grocery stores and starts stabbing up all the cereal boxes. Yeah. Take that, Captain Crunch. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, huh? I'm just kidding. No, but do you see what I mean? That happens. So you can't say, "Oh yeah, all this reptilian race that comes from the planet Salamando, they are all dominant people, and when they came to the earth and created humans, they put this dominant gene inside of our bodies, and that's why we sometimes we have these tendencies to be dominant." Yeah, I heard this lady talk. She has a YouTube channel. She talks like this every day for a half hour or 10 minutes, and then she'll say, "Oh, today I was feeling more of my reptilian heritage, and I went into the kitchen and I saw a plate on the table and I just smashed it and I didn't even know why. I wasn't even mad or anything. And then I realized, it's my reptilian tendencies are strong today." Please. Oh man. But see, this is the kind of nonsense that happens when you do not establish your sacred center, or you do not establish yourself to communicate from your sacred center, and you end up talking nonsense like what I just did. Yeah, to say that all individuals from a certain planet are the same is not true. To say that all humans on our planet Earth are the same is absolutely not true. You cannot categorize us. No, you really can't, because we're so different. There's some of us that are so intelligent in a mathematical way, in a musical way, in the creative ways, instinctively, introvertly, extrovertly, and then we have the worst of the worst as well. We have everything on this planet. This is the blueprint of all planets, my friends. It's this way all over the universe and other universes too. Duality is there as well. It's not something to avoid, but it's something that we can learn from, and it's something we can adjust and make it work for us, and then it's no longer duality. You see what I mean? This exists all over the universe. So all you got to do is look at our planet. This is the blueprint for others. So when people are dreaming up of an advanced civilization where there is no war and and only peace, the chance is, if that really exists, then the people on that planet have absolutely no volition whatsoever. Then you have to ask the question, are they human? Are they intelligent? Because to me, volition is a very crucial component of what defines and compromises, what comprises intelligence. So I don't really believe that there is a place like that, because that would be a very boring world. I'm not saying war is good. It's not. Yeah? But what I'm saying is that to have beautiful, we have to have ugly too. And where we go where we fall into a trap is when we say beautiful is good and ugly is bad. That's when we fall into a trap. We trick ourselves when we start talking. That's when we start turning into things, to dualism. Because we're forgetting that third element, which is between the two sides, which is peace. But we learn from one side, we learn from the other side to remain in the middle, which means the three components have to be there. So to have a planet where there's only peace, one would have to say that there's no volition there, which means there's no creativity. Yeah, without these things, we have to be careful about it. Yeah, we have to be careful that we just don't see the this and the that. We always have to remember the other. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when you see these other sites and organizations, like there is one called Star Knowledge, and what they are about is completely the opposite of what I am about. They look out there for reality. They're totally going the opposite direction. Yeah, and the things they come up with are pretty stupid, in my opinion. Like they try to incorporate Lakota ideas into their beliefs, and it doesn't work because they use the wrong words, and they don't know how to speak Lakota, so they don't conjugate. Like for example, conjugate is like this. Take a simple word, I love. The word for love, it depends. Are you talking about the subject, love, or the verb, to love? Yeah, you have to know that. Those are different words. Yeah. If you're talking about the verb, there are two forms of it. One is loving family and friends, and the other one is loving your partner. Romantic love. Yeah. So, let's use the one for romantic love, because we all want that. Yeah. So that would be a verb. Tehila, to love. The word for I in Lakota is miye. That's M as in mother. Miye. Now what some people do is they'll find this in a dictionary. And then they'll say miye tehila, which is totally wrong. Incredibly wrong. We don't talk like that. See, what this person is doing is using Lakota words to say an English sentence using English sentence form, and Lakota sentence form is different. For us, everything revolves around that verb. Okay? So instead of saying miye, we're going to add something to the verb. That means I. And there's three ways to do that. Each verb, it only uses one of the three. Okay, there are rare exceptions where it uses two, but most verbs, 98% of verbs, use either one of the three. Just one of the three. In this case, it's a wa. That means I. Yeah? So you add the wa to this word. Now, where do you add it? Do you say watechile? Do you say tewachile? Or do you say techilawa? Do you see what I mean? That's the next difficulty, is deciding where does that go. There's no rule in this. You just have to learn it. You have to learn the whole thing. Yeah? In this case, it's in the second syllable. So you say tewachila. Tewachila, I love. You see how that works? So it's not miye techila. It's tewachila. So I would say tewachila This star knowledge organization, this other group that does everything in reverse, they're going to say Mie Techila. But actually, they go even worse. Yeah, they use the noun for love, which is Woastelaka. So they're going to say Mie Woastelaka. Do you see what I mean? That's what they do. So the fact that they use Lakota wrong is telling me that what they're saying is false. You see what I mean? So in case you run into that is total nonsense, because they're looking out there when really Lakota Star Knowledge says you look the other direction, which is inside of you, because there's a universe in there, and the universe out there is a reflection of that. So to know that, you have to know what's in you first.